Bro, you can hear me? I can't hear you. Make sure my stuff ain't on mute. I can see you. I can't hear you. You can hear me though? Hold on, let me see something. Hello? Hold on, let me see something. Yeah, my thing is working. I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Kendrick, can you hear me good? I can cut. I'm so glad I can cut all this off. You hear me? I can hear you. I can see you smiling, nodding, all that. I cannot hear you at all. Let me see. Can you, y'all in the comments? Let me see. You can hear me. I can hear you. Okay, you can hear me. Let me see if I put them in here. If you can hear me. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. That's
All
probably
right.
me.
So let me check this. Let me check and see if this still works.
You got a whole setup in the back. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good, good. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to accomplish.
Let me make sure these people is jumping in here. I'm so glad it's recorded because I had this class today. I'm like, dang, 8 o'clock. That's my, I'm a stickler with time. I know what time my
Right.
people be on. We be old. Let
Right. No, I understand.
me pull up my
Now, how can I share this to my Facebook page or can I do
um
that?
let me see. Hold on. There's a link, but this is the link to get in. Yes, to the studio. Save changes. I don't even know if there's like how to pull up the link. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Okay.
It's, in,
Um,
it's invite the guest. It's on my Facebook page though, but let me see.
maybe what I can do is maybe I can go to your Facebook page and then click share,
Yeah, you can try that.
and it'll go to mine.
Is this- Let me make sure this is edit privacy. I'm making it public. Yeah, it's public. What's up, y'all? Everybody that's tuned in. Yo, y'all share this out, share this out, share this out. Please share this out to everybody because this stuff be acting. And y'all don't feel, oh, here we go. Comments is come. Let me see this. Oh, snap. Comments is working and everything. Okay. You can hear him too. All right. Great, great, great. Yep. Tag all the people. Y'all jump in here. All my people was asking me, yo, when he coming on? When he coming on? What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Hope everybody's night is going well. Let me pull up my questions that I got. I do got questions. If you can hear me and see me,
All
all
right.
of y'all,
I think
you shut it out.
I was finally able to share it, so I think we good on my side.
Okay, hold on. Let me grab my stuff up.
Am I able to see the comment? I probably can't see the comments. Can I? Oh, I see them.
You see
Kind of,
him?
uh, kind of small and down on the left hand corner. I think I can see them.
Okay. All right, y'all. We about to jump into this. Um. So Y'all, everybody that's tuned in, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to say my rules real fast. I'm gonna give y'all a lowdown on what's about to happen and what's not about to happen because I got all the energy in the world right now. I don't know where it came from because I was tired, but this is what we're going to do right here. First and foremost, if you are watching this, there is a lot of people who have hit my inbox asking me specifically about this. So if you know we are in the same circle, go ahead and share it out. I would appreciate it. You'll help me out a whole lot if you could do that. He already did his part. He shared it out. Y'all share it out. That would be really great. Y'all can comment, talk back, interact. We love that. That's no problem. But y'all do know my rules for this entire session. Ain't gonna be no disrespecting because I'm on 100 tonight. So I'm trying to tell y'all in advance. Ain't no, gonna be no disrespecting, no no crazy stuff going on. My brother is here to express to me and talk to me about the things we've been talking about as far as leaving church, being in church, healing, not dealing with people, his truth and what his experience is and has been. That's the entire point of this entire sessions that I'll be doing. Is for me to get the true, authentic answers and experience from people who have walked through certain things. If anyone's on here and you feel a certain way, that is your problem. And I'm not even trying to say that to be funny or trying to be rude or disrespectful, but this is the whole entire point of this. All right. So last week we had my girl Susan on there, we had my girl Desi on there, and they spoke from a place of being in the church and church hurt. They brought us some real stuff, crazy stuff while being in church, right? I want y'all to know moving forward, all of my guests on here, even coming in April, is going to get better. Everyone is not walking the same walk as you. So I need everybody on here. If you're going to be on here, listen, have an open mind, listen with some understanding. If you know you don't flow too much in wisdom, I would advise you to just sit down and listen, because any comments y'all saying tonight, I'm just telling y'all where I'm at in
You on
advance.
10 today, huh?
Like, what you said, bro?
I said you on 10 today, huh?
Yeah. Like I'm excited. First and foremost, I thank you for even jumping on this and doing this with me. We have for y'all who don't know, this is my brother.
For
This
sure.
is my brother. Like, this is my brother. When I say my brother, I mean we going
Yeah.
back 2010,
Yeah.
2011. Me
Yeah.
coming to this guy like, I got an idea. I want you to do this. No second guessing. No, let me think about it. No, let me pray about it. Let me talk to my team. It was none of that. It was all right. Pull up here in 2 days. That's it. Bring
Yeah.
whatever you bring in. So I have a real huge respect for James because he's one of the people that any vision I had that I came to with them, he was just like, let's do it. Let's be on board. And so I felt like due to his transition, his growth, oh man, his growth. I felt like he was a great person to be a part of this, right? So James, a lot of people already know who you is because you kind of like a legend to me, but just let the people know who you are in case they don't know.
I'm so mad I can't see the comments. But peace and love, everybody. I'm James, of course, like my sis just introduced me as. Some of y'all may know me as Prayz One. Um, yes, me and Niche go back. We go back a very long time, and such a beautiful soul, such a beautiful person. And I appreciate you, Niece. I know you didn't ask this question. I'm just bigging you up first, but I just appreciate your heart and just where you are, who you are, and who you've always been. You've always been consistent, and you've never changed. I just really, other than evolving, you've never changed, and I really appreciate that about you. And I'm always answer the call whenever you call or ask. Hey, just like back then. Hey, I got this idea. What's up? You know me. Out in 2 seconds, sure. Like I don't even know I don't even know what nobody's going to ask me. I don't know what Niche is going to ask me. I don't know what the audience is going to ask me. But I am Prayz One or James, and been a Christian artist, which most of you guys probably know me through or from, for a very long time, years ago. And just the start of my journey was becoming a Christian in and of itself. when my mother and father took me to church when I was young. Am I getting to how deep you want this answer?
No, you can go. You going right into it.
Okay.
So, yep.
So my mother and father, used to take me and my sister to church when I was young, when we were both young, and not young enough to really comprehend church, but to go. That's what most Black families, we go to church, and I having two having a mother and father household, I've always had that sense of balance, which is another big part of who I am. But I remember at the age of about 15, my parents, and they've always kept this straight line of consistent line of communication with us to allow us to make our own choice. So I remember at around 14, 15 years old, my mother and father came to my sister and they said, "Hey, listen, you guys are getting older. You're able to comprehend, for yourself. So we want to let you guys know that it's up to you whether or not you want to go to church. You let us know, and we're not going to force you to go." The mother and father weren't really like super endowed, when it comes to, church. However, they were consistent with it, at that time. And so my answer, of course, was, well, I'm going skating. So because there was like a skating rink that used to go down in South Philly, down at this spot on Christian Street, and they call it St. Charles, right? That's why I learned to skate. I'm really, really good at skating. So during that time, okay, I stopped going to church, start skating on Sundays. Now I'm no longer really going to church, no longer really doing that. And then from there, I would stay with my cousin and I would go to church with him on Sundays because his family would go, every weekend. So just me staying there, I would go to church with them just by default. And I love music, so I would always go love the music, and I was heavily influenced there. But it wasn't until about 18, 19 when I just felt a sense of like emptiness during that time, like I needed something, or I was searching for something more. And this was just an independent thought. It wasn't through nobody coming up to me, like preaching to me or anything like that. It was just like I was literally walking down the street, just feeling like it was something more that I wanted out of life. And that's when I got invited to church by my girlfriend at the time. And from there, it was just it was uphill from there when it came to my Christian walk. So I was at an early age of 18. Fast forward now, years later, I'm 40 now. So, math on that. And about 6 years ago is when I made my transition outside of Christianity, outside of religion. So, but that's sort of my upbringing when it comes to that particular piece, of my life.
Got you. So, all right. So, when you were in church like that, what would you say were some of the things that you liked most about it? And then I want you to
Yeah.
kind of explain what happened for you to get into that transition where you kind of was like, I don't know if I'm feeling this.
Yeah. Man, what I love about it, well, first and foremost, one thing about me is that I'm a super genuine person, right? Um, I don't like to waste my words. I'm a very serious heart, even though I smile a lot. I'm a very serious person at heart, right? So I don't like to lie and to, just do things just to do them. I'm an extremely purpose person. So when it came to church for me, it was a personal, intentional drive for me. And what I loved about it was it it introduced me to a side of spirituality that I had never experienced before, that I had never known of. Like I said, at being young, you would go to church, but to actually um, experience church and have different um, it really just, I'm gonna keep using that term, but overusing that term, but having different experiences that are new, and that introduce you to another world, so to speak, spiritually. That was really big for me, and I was super appreciative of it. And it I was already a certain type of person. I was born a certain type of person because my parents raised me to be a certain type of person, right? They raised me out of love. They raised me out of compassion. They raised me out of respect. So when I made my journey, it wasn't about a title. You know, I never cared about being okay. So I have such a deep story that I'm trying to pinpoint in piece where where I want to start from. But I became a licensed minister early in my 20s. I became a ordained deacon, and then I became an ordained elder. So a reflection of that, or a piece of that, was who I was. I believe who I was as a person, and the way I approached spirituality, the way I approached God, and the intentness that I put towards Christianity, towards the Word of God, and different things of that nature. And I loved it. It built me. It helped me to become just become an open-minded person in so many different ways that I have never experienced before. So I really appreciate Christianity for that. I really appreciate my experience there for that. The people that I've come across, and the love that that I received. There's so many different experiences that I could talk to y'all about. But that was what I liked about it. And I'm not really here to say that Christianity, that I was like super hurt, like there was this person or that person that just like, I think a lot of people think that there was 3 reasons, but I think I might be getting into another question you're gonna ask. So I'm not going to answer fully, but I think a lot of people think that the reason why I made the transition that I made, or the difference that they see in me, is that because I didn't make it in music, or because someone said something to me like that hurt my feelings or something like that, or because I just went crazy. I've heard a lot of stuff. I went crazy. Veganism is the devil. I heard a whole lot of stuff. But what it really comes down to for me was just a search. But I'm not going to go into that question. I'll just say that what I didn't like about it, I think at the tail end of my experience, was sort of the lack of attention to when I had questions, when I had hard, very, very hard questions that outside of maybe, one person who tried to have a conversation, to kind of go there, with me. Out of the hundreds of people that I've known in my Christian experience, I can probably count on my hand, which is kind of crazy, how many people actually gave me a call and like had an actual conversation with me. So this is really my first time really experiencing this. Speaking on this like publicly, outside of like maybe some friends that I know personally. But yeah, that's what I would say it was there. Sort of the change of behavior, when it came down to having questions, and then when it came down to wanting to have certain conversation, is what I'll say I disliked about it. But I don't have any like hard feelings towards no one, really.
That's what made me ask you, because I remember putting up a post a while ago, and I think I asked something along the lines of, why did people leave? I think that's when I started really being, I would say, more concerned, but I was really questioning, because I talked to a lot of people that love God, still feeling God, still in it, but they're like, yeah, I can't do that church. I just can't do the church people. And I asked the question on my Facebook, and your response was, I don't really have nothing to say bad. I don't have that story like, oh, I was dragged here, or this happened. I feel like they was still loving people. I'm just not in there like that. Like, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh snap. Like, I honestly can say I didn't expect you, just because I know your character and how you are. I didn't expect you to get on there and be like, yeah, they this and that. But I was just like, that response was shocking to me a little bit, because I was just like, that's probably one of the best responses that I've ever received from somebody who is not in church. And whether they went through something crazy or not, who's not in church and had a response like that. I've never seen anyone who has left church because of people for whatever reason, and be
Mm.
able to give that type of response, like, and that's what made me was like, I got to get you on here to talk about
Right.
this, because it was just a
So,
different response. Most people that's not there, they like they don't have nothing good to say. And they're not only that they don't have nothing good to say, it's just they're deconverted altogether. So now it's like it's not, they have nothing really good to say, but it's all like bad, bad, bad. There's some people that jumped on there that expressed what they expressed, but your reasoning was different.
yeah, I don't want to cut you off. I can't see you. It's like a black screen. Is that me? Can the
Oh
audience see?
no, I think that's everyone. I think everyone can still hear you. This happened a little bit. I think this might be my internet, but I can still hear you though. So
But
it's going to tap
they
back
can
in.
see you. 'Cause I just see a black screen. Like they can physically see. As long as they can see you, I'm good. I'll just talk. I can talk to the black screen. I just want to make sure. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back together.
That's coming back. Okay.
Yeah, I see you now.
Okay. Um. Yeah. Just. I mean, everyone's. To me, I think everyone's experiences are different, and people process their experiences differently too. You know.
Right, right.
Again, like I was raised out of love. Um. Not saying that I'm not human and I don't dislike certain things. Like nobody likes for people to say certain things to them, but when you understand life a bit more and it becomes a little more wider in view, then I think you gain a bit more balance to understand how people may feel the way they feel about certain things, you know. And so for me, that's how I always took it. Like, not during my first time, during the first portion or part of my transition, I had to learn. It was a whole new world for me. There you go.
Mhm.
It was a whole new world for me. So it was, you know, I can't even, it's funny that I can't say that I felt maybe in some sense kind of lonely because,
Mhm.
a lot of, I had to do a lot of deep diving and self like searching and work. I did a lot of studying. I mean, people wouldn't know the half of the things that I've studied. Like you know, when it comes to a lot of the choices that I've made, right? So when you do that, it kind of puts you in a odd space where
Mhm.
you're up against maybe some individuals who may not understand that part of your journey. So you may say something to you and they're like, no, I'm not trying to hear that. That wherever they are in their journey, that's just not something that they really care for, or that's a conviction for them. And so as I grew, I kind of learned that more. And so
Mm.
it took a little bit of that like weight off of me being upset with anyone in particular, with people like that. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I'm a lovable person. Like I have Christian friends, I have devout Christian friends, Muslim friends, like atheist friends, people who look at just all types of spirituality. But for me, it's about the intention of a person's heart and them as a human being, because you never know where their life would lead them. And you just can't treat people bad. Like I don't know any form of you know um, system that's healthy where it's okay to just treat people bad and like
Mm.
talk to them crazy. You can't. I don't know one, and I don't think I'll ever support that part of it being healthy. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of always been my perspective. So that's why I may come off a little different, but
So what was your mindset, or how did you feel when you was in that brink of, I got these questions, right? Because, and I'm asking this because I was I'm not even gonna say I was kind of sort of still thank God for the two little people I got that's going to jump in and break stuff down and ain't closed minded. But what was your mindset when it was like, all right, I'm finding out more stuff, or I'm learning certain things for myself, and I'm having these questions, and these people are not able to answer me? Like
yeah.
how were you feeling? What were you thinking in your mind? Like, man, this is crazy. Because I know for me, I feel like sometimes I get frustrated. I'm like, why? You know, like I do have a pastor, I do have a leader, and he don't have no problem sitting down, talking to me, breaking stuff down. And then there's other times I have questions. I'm like, yo, why nobody got these? Or not even that they don't have the answers. If they feel they have the answers, it's more so like, well, if you don't believe the answer that I'm giving you, then you really ain't a part, or you really ain't. You know what I'm saying? To me, I get frustrated. I'm like, why is it like this? So I wanted to know, what was your mindset during that time when you was like, I'm finding this out, I'm having more questions, I'm pulling, I'm pushing. Like, where were you at?
Man, I'm a lyricist, so for me to not find a word to describe it, it's crazy. It was a really new and different feeling for me. I don't know if I want to describe it as dark, but the reason why I might want to use the term dark just would be sort of just to represent sort of the sense of unknown space, right? Like how many people are like in this unknown space where I was, and I felt like it was I was sort of alone there almost. And you know, to most people, darkness equals you just can't see. You don't know where you're going. Like it's almost like it's unexpected. It's, you know, some people may be anxious but I would say that it was an odd feeling because I'm like nobody. Like I know a lot of people. I've I've served or ministered or performed, whatever you want to call it, in front of thousands of people for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, I've come across many people, you know, who just that I would figure it would be normal for them to like, or at least a portion of them to be able to have a certain conversation at that point where I was. And when I found out that it was nobody, well, I'm not gonna say there was no one there.
Right.
It felt like there was no one there. And when I felt that there was no one there, that's when that dark feeling came, like, this is crazy. Because my whole life was built on anything I have a question about, or I have, you know, an issue with, or, you know, or curiosity about should be open-ended, right? It should be, why not? It's God. Like, where's
Right.
nothing that I could possibly think of that can't be answered, or we can't go down that road. And, you know, when I got the kickback, it was a little disheartening because what I was learning about myself at that point in my life, that I was a much more um, inquisitive person than I thought I was. Like I was a searcher. I was a person who I need that. You know, and again, I can care less about it. Even when I was an elder, I
Right.
literally could care less. Like I didn't care who. When I was the artist, Prayz One, I literally could care less. My band to tell you, well, at the time, those guys who were with me, my brothers, we would go to major award shows, Christian award shows and stuff, and you know, people be going taking pictures with everybody, and I'd go to the dressing room and just chill. Like
Right.
that was never me. Like my brain was a bit more centered around where's my heart pulling me towards. And when I would see stuff that seemed a little, you know, maybe not as genuine as the type of person I am, you know, I wouldn't judge it. That's just not me. I'm good. I'm okay.
Right.
But at that same thing carries over to like just wanting to know knowledge. Like knowledge is an important thing. Like the truth sets people free, right? That's what we know. And so it just felt like a little lonely and a little dark during that period. And um, it was an interesting feeling for sure. It was an
Well,
interesting feeling.
there's a question. Kendra got a question. What were the questions that you were asking? Did not getting the answer make you feel like you weren't allowed to ask, or made you feel less than?
Um,
real quick.
But
I'm gonna let you think about your answer, Hendry. Let
that
me
was
answer.
like three. They were good, great. That's a great question. She asked like three of them back to back.
She
But they were
did.
all really good questions.
They were questions.
So the first one was what were the things that I asked about?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things. All right. So some of you that know, I got into holistic health. Right. Went to school, got certified in it. I became a, you know, just a biochemistry, biology geek,
Right.
right? And I still love the body, study the body, different things of that nature. But during that time, I was getting into. I'm glad she asked that question. So during that time, I was this is exactly the the beginning, literal beginning of what the transition was.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget. I was dealing with something, or I thought I was dealing with something, and it really wasn't. But whatever it was, it sparked my curiosity as far as holistic health, right? Holistic nutrition. So, long story short, from that part, once I began to go into my study about holistic protocols to like help me deal with what I thought I was dealing with, I kind of ran into the understanding of like holistic health, um, how the herbs are important for our bodies, right? The fruits and just the way we eat and different things of that nature, right? Because I'm trying to heal, so I'm like, yo, what's the natural? And the way that I tied my belief system into that was, wait, if I'm serving God, right, and I'm looking to heal my body, there's no way I can't find that answer in the Bible. Because this is, according to my understanding at the time, this is not just for my, again, not just for the other parts, the spiritual parts, if I go on, but the natural part too. Like, I should find the answers. I should have all the answers that I need. And so I went and searched for that. That's when I went into a search. So I'm like, hold on, okay, well, then I learned about, it was this one specific thing when I looked at the food pyramid and, health police, I don't want to battle with holistic stuff. That's not my goal tonight. I'm giving my journey. But when I looked at the food pyramid and I saw that they had like milk on a food pyramid, I'm just giving it exactly the way my brain worked on this time, y'all. I looked on the food pyramid and I saw like dairy and milk and cheese like on the food pyramid. I'm like, and the studies that I was getting into suggested, well, that's not healthy for the body. The pus cells and the bacteria and all of these things, because dairy is meant for a 500-pound cow to feed their baby, and so they can become a 500-pound cow. So it didn't make logical, natural sense. And during that time, I'm thinking, if it's natural, it has to be of God. Why would God want me putting my human mouth on the breast of a cow? It just didn't seem natural to me.
Yep.
It just didn't seem natural. And I know the culture suggests differently because it's kind of dressed up where we don't really look at it that way. But again, I'm learning that I'm an inquisitive person at this time in life. So now it's Zooming. I'm on Zoom now because now I want to know, wait, something ain't right there. Let me figure out what's going on. And that's when I kind of started my study of just going into the Bible to find, okay, well, Bible got to see somewhere where, you know what I'm saying? Go to Genesis, let the herbs of the earth, let every fruit and herb of the earth bearing seed be for thy meat, right? This in Genesis. That's an actual alkaline vegan diet that I just described to you. Literally, let the herbs of the earth and the fruits be bearing seed be for thy meat. Because any fruit that has a seed in it is a real fruit. Any herb that has a seed, right? And I'm
Yep.
thinking again, I'm correlating God to what's real. Y'all got to stay with me. I'm not looking at it like being things from the earth, which God created, is separate from God. Things that can heal my body is separate from the God that I believe in the Bible. I'm not looking at it that way.
Right.
Because it don't make sense. It does not make sense for me to go outside of that during this time. This is the way my brain is working.
Mm-hmm.
And so once I kind of took a look at that, and then I went a little further in the scriptures and seen some different things, and where it really didn't, say, hey, that's not what goes into a person's body that defiles them, is what goes out. So like, hey, eat whatever you. And then I'm looking at the culture of the church and what we eating, and how I'm seeing the high blood pressure issues and the
Yes.
diabetes, and I'm like, yo, how is this of God? And why are we like? Why do I have to pray to like heal myself from diabetes if the Bible already told me the diet to keep me away from that? So it just didn't. It wasn't connecting for me. Just my story. And then that's when I started to kind of go into the studies of like everything at that point. And that's when it just, everything. I would just go to work, go home, study. It was almost like a college time for me during that point in my life, because again, these are all concepts that I've never known about, never knew about, nobody preached this to me, never learned this in a Bible study, never learned this from anywhere, not even
Right.
just in church, even outside of church in my community, never learned none of this. And that's when I took that leadership fire that I naturally have in me. I
Mm-hmm.
took that to go find out what's going on, and to answer, I think, Kendra's second question, what did I feel like I think she said small, that it made me feel smaller, something like that.
Did not getting the answer make you feel like you weren't allowed to ask, or
Yeah,
did it make
okay.
you feel less
Yes.
than?
So did not getting the answer make me feel like I wasn't allowed to ask? Yes.
I was going to answer that right when you was thinking about it. I was like, shoot, I got my answer, because I feel like
Yes,
that. Like once
it
you start
did.
asking questions, it's like you can't. Oh, you just don't worry about that. They just trying. It's trying, fool you. It's like, but what's the answer though? Like,
Not knowing that's probably, out of all the years you know me, this is probably the most critical time for you to be there for me in that sense. Out of all the years if this time of questioning is the most critical time. And that was the time when there was no, there be, and I'm not to bash those who weren't able to give me the answers. Maybe maybe they didn't know.
right,
You're right. Maybe it wasn't a conversation that they were ever used to or ever had before. So it was something new, right? And so now that I'm a little older and more mature, I can kind of understand why maybe some people just, hey, I don't know. Again, dark, unknown spaces are scary for a lot of people. It brings more anxiety than it does peace. So if I'm presenting something to you that you don't know about or that you've never heard of, that's detrimental to your life, that can bring a lot of anxiety in a lot of people's minds. So the quickest thing is say, "Oh no, that's the devil. No, I'm praying against that. That ain't God."
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the automatic. But the reality is that doesn't stop the question. That doesn't stop the fact that my mind is now open to needing to know, and which we all have the opportunity to know. I mean, that's not like it's an exclusive thing, but
Right.
but so I did feel that, yes, that I was asking stuff that I shouldn't have asked, and did it make me feel smaller? The only time I felt smaller is when, or in a sense that I felt maybe because people didn't know me for knowing certain things, that it was almost like James don't know what he's talking about. Like he don't know nothing about that. And
Wow.
Admit and that, but that might be it. And I really don't like when people sort of speak condescending to me, or when people like, and I can't help, you can't help what a person thinks about you, but people are just going to have certain judgments about who you are. And I just learned that you can't stop what a person thinks about you. Some people may think I'm just, I didn't turn into the devil. I'm this evil guy. Am I crazy? I've heard a lot over the last, few years. Trust you. But I have pretty thick skin, but I also have love all in my veins. I'm just, you know, if I could if I could put all of the staff that I've ever managed, and y'all put them on this chat and let them tell you about the experiences they had with me, it would show you a whole another side of which a person may think, but you don't know, you don't experience a person. So, but let me not change the subject too much. I'm sorry, I can start rambling.
You're all right. So there's one thing you said in your song. You just put out this. First of all, you get on my nerves with these little drops of music because I'm just sitting here waiting. Like, where is the music at? Like, what? Like, but you just put out this little freestyle, and I loved
Yeah,
it. I loved it. I'm one of those people. I know all your old songs. Like, you can't really ask me, do you think this song is good or bad? Because I'm gonna be like, this is Prayz one. I don't know if there's a couple people you can't come ask me about their music because I'm always gonna be like, that's fire. You just can't hear right, or you just probably can't comprehend. So I'm like, whatever. But I like you just put out this quick freestyle you put out, and in the words that you said in there was crazy. The one part you said was, if you shake my hand different because I left religion, I still love you. The matters is I just hate the system. Now that part to me, yeah, the joint was crazy. Kevin Wood says that joint was crazy. Absolutely was crazy, right? I loved it for me because I'm like that. I feel like that is kind of like where I've been and what caused me to start this. So I want to know your take on when you say I hate the system. I want to know what did you mean when you said that? Like, where were you at in regards to that? Because I could identify it with that for my specific reason, but I want to know
yeah,
what your reason is.
yeah. So, if anybody knows me, those who know that are close to me, that really really close to me, that I share like how my mind towards like art and stuff like that. They know I think in like double, triple entendres most time. So when I speak of something, it's more than likely going to be able to attach to a much broader, maybe three different layers. And for example, that's one of the lines that you can attach to a lot of different layers. If you shook my hand different when I left religion, still love you. The matter is that I hate the system. If we don't see life the same, we can still listen. What decision turned love to an opposition? So that little piece right there was like all the way from my heart. Like that's one of them lines that came with a lot of experience, because I have a lot of friends and a lot of people that I've known that absolutely shook my hand different, since I've left religion. And so my response to that afterwards, I still love you. The matters that I hate the system is, yeah, like I understand that this is why you probably have shook my hand different and why your energy towards me is different. But I still love you the same. Like I'm still the same guy that's gonna love you when I was where I was then and where I am now. If I don't hate you, I hate the system that may have developed the thoughts you have towards me now. I hate the system that I've looked into and found a lot of holes in, that destroys the mentality of the unity of people, the growth of people, the growth of people, like understanding who they are and how powerful they are in so many different aspects of life, not just on the spiritual side, but even on the political side, the institutional side, the system in that regards, which we all, kind of can say we have a little bit of gripe against in one way, shape, or form. the system of, why I can't get a question answered that's hard, within a confines of somewhere that I've been paying money. And it's not even about that, because I don't even like money, to be honest with you, the concept of it. But somewhere where I've been investing time, love, heart, soul, strength, body, sweat, tears. But when I ask a question, you shake my hand different. When I ask a question, I got three heads. I'm a three-headed monster. I don't want you talking to James, because now James has questions and has a different thought towards something. So no, I don't want y'all, don't talk to him. Y'all stay away from him. All right. It's that there's a system that I hate. And that's probably another thing that hurt me as well. The feeling that certain people would want to alienate me from certain people, like stay away from him, and then paint this narrative over me as a person or whatever. To see when you're a high level thinker, especially maybe if you're a leader, you're a pastor, whatever, more than likely you're more higher level kind of thinker when it comes to certain things. So when you have people who are like confiding in you, they're a bit more open to being influenced by your voice in certain aspects. So when you go and you say certain things to certain people about, a person, they're gonna believe you. Yes, pastor said that, or minister said that. Oh yeah, we can't mess with James. We can't mess with him. That's leave him alone, or that's treat him a certain way, or not even necessarily like let's go treat him bad, so to speak. But it's this narrative painted that the system of that kind of thought I hate. But with all due balance, I also understand that within certain belief systems, there's structures. And if there's a certain structure that says, hey, this is what we believe, so, we have to stay along the lines of what we believe. And so we want to keep people along those lines, and we don't want them to get outside of those lines. Then there's a thin line between, well, maybe that person can influence, but I'm not trying to, I've never tried to, I don't want to influence nobody to do anything. Like, I'm not trying to recruit members for nothing.
Right.
That's not me. Like, if a person is a Christian, devout, that loves God, so be it. I support and love you. That's your journey. That I'll never go against you. You might tell me I'm going to hell, and that's fine. But I don't have to believe what you believe. That's just what you believe, and it's okay. Like, but don't tell me that and not be open to having a conversation. Then why I don't believe it. Just don't say it to me at all. If you put it on me, then I have the right to, well, why do you think that? Or this is why I don't think that. So, I think it's just a fine line between, knowing how to present yourself and what you stand for and what you believe, versus just alienating a person without giving them a chance or opportunity to be. But, the truth is going to be truth. Anybody that comes in contact with me, they're going to feel the love, going to feel my energy. They're going to feel my spirit. They know I'm just I'm not a bad person. You'll never have a conversation with me and think that, oh, he's influenced by X, Y. You just won't, because I just, like, you just don't naturally, I think we naturally feel and know when people just don't have the right alignment and attunement that you shouldn't be around. So to piggyback and go back to the music thing, I'm glad you asked that. And I know, man, listen, Niche been getting on me for so long. I literally went back like 6 years ago, longer than that. And I was using my comments saying the same thing. Where's the music? And I started laughing. I probably got about 3 or 4
my
albums.
Family be asking. My family don't be all into that, but Prayz is the one. They like, my sister heard your voice. She came from downstairs. Like,
yeah.
at the steps, like Prayz, like.
I probably have about 3 or 4 albums worth of music that I haven't released. For me, I'm the same person. Like I'm intentional. Like I'm passionate about my music. Like if I'm going through a phase that's new or unknown to me, I'm not just going to put music out there because I know my influence and I'm careful with, I want to be real and authentic, but at the same time, I don't want to be reckless because
Right.
even outside of, I believe that I have a right to my community and the things that I present to the world as an art. Like I wanted to make the world better. And so my frustrations about something or I got to make sure that I'm not putting out music that's just behind bad or negative energy. So, and I had to find and feel when it was the right time and space to do it. And I think now is the time. I have music that I'll be putting out that's from 6 years ago. I've always been before my time. I'm not going to change no lyrics. I'm putting the music that I wrote 6 years ago out, and it's going to fit right to where the world is now. And so that's where I was a patient. I felt like I needed to be patient when it came to music, and just putting stuff out just because I'm talented and I know I can do it. And that speaks to the fact that I don't care about being signed that was never like, I feel like personally, like I already know who I am. Like I never really needed a record deal and I've been in record deals that some people have gotten in the way of and did some shady stuff when I was a Christian rapper before. But even outside of that, I know who I am. And I know that I'm responsible for putting out things when it's right and in the right time, I feel like, for me personally. But anybody that listens to Prayz One's Christian music, please, I don't never stop nobody. I still get inboxes and people say, yo, your music really helped me through this or touched me or, and I always encourage it. Like, I'm not a person that's taking my catalog down, and I would never do that because I understand how significant it is for a person. So I would never do that. And I just wanted to put that out there too, to let people know how I feel. People be scared to call me Prayz. Like, oh, is he like, no, like it's okay. It's okay. I can't see the comments. I know it's probably
Yes, we have enough people taking their platforms that are their unhealed emotions. Enough is enough. Thanks for being intentional about your moves. That's what Kendria said to you. Someone else, Anthony said, artists really can be ahead of time. Dope realization of self. Yeah, I don't feel like you've changed at all. Like me personally, I just feel like you got smarter to me. It's like I know for me, when you start on that alkaline vegan joint, I was like, let me try this out. And I tell everybody to this day, I was at my best in my entire life when I was an alkaline vegan for 2 years. I was pregnant being an alkaline vegan. I had Kinsley and Wes being alkaline vegan, and I was raising them to be alkaline vegans until they was like 3. So it's funny because I definitely see the effect of it from prior until now, even within my children, even when it comes down to how Wes eat. He doesn't know, but because of when he came from me, how I was eating, it's crazy how he came out eating like that. Like that's his preference of food. And the craziest thing to me is that when I used to take him to the doctor, he's stocky, he's strong for his size, strong for his age. He wasn't eating none of that stuff. So I know for me, when you put me onto that, I was like, let me try this. I had my family try it, and I know I went back to eating regular, and I was like, I literally feel the difference. Like, yeah, I gotta get back to this because it definitely feels better.
Sis, to me, that's the language of God. And I know people look at it like that's the language of our creator is this human life. Like, and I just read it in the scriptures. Those who follow the script, I just read it there, and it's to me that's now. That's not to say that let me clear this up, because when I was doing a vegan thing as well, people thinking I'm a vegan pastor or like a vegan police or something. Where it's like, oh, you got a chicken? No, like my parents have been more vegan than me throughout my entire. My mother. They told my mother that she was going to be on diabetic pills for the rest of her life. This is what the doctors told her. If anybody know anything about me, my mother's is my everything. That's my heart. You know, pops come second, but mom just, you know what I'm saying? When I heard that and I lost my uncle, her brother took his foot, took his toe, took his leg, took his life. But I was going to stand around and watch that happen to my mother? Nah. So I then went into, that was even more incentive for me to want to study, or motivation for me to want to study holistic health, holistic nutrition, and get into like, and when I put my mother on it, what do you think happened? Reverse everything. No longer, they didn't even know they was asking her what she was doing when she went back to get her numbers read and all that. How did you know, because my mom don't play, she don't really like medicine and all of that type of stuff. My mother's been vegan since. So it's been about 6 years straight. Her and my mother and father have been vegan since. I'm the one that's jumped in and out, stuff like that. But for me, it's because I have more of knowledge on. I have more of a whole, like the knowledge of the whole. Like I already know if I'm doing this, I gotta offset it with that. This is the herb I gotta go to. This is the, you know. So I'm still keeping my body from being sick and different things of that nature. But I'm doing it with more of an awareness than a person who may not have the awareness, and you know, it becomes detrimental. Their diet becomes detrimental to their health. So I'm not the vegan police. So you don't gotta be like, oh, I can't eat a rib around James. Like, no, that's your life. Like,
Right.
stop it, please. Like, when I was passionate about, when I opened up the public platform to talk about those things and to help people, and I've helped a lot of people from a lot of different illnesses. It was more so I wanted to help my community. Like, that's the same heart I had when you saw me in front of hundreds of people on stage. It was the same heart I had, you know, when it came to holistic health, wanting people to be better, feel better, do better, live better. The same that I would do in music that I would present today, the same that I do in my professional life when I'm dealing with staff. I don't treat people like they're my staff. I treat people like, I respect people, and this is why I've been so successful even in my secular career, if you want to call it that, right? So it's, for me, it's all about the intention of the heart, and you know, what you want to, the reason why you're doing things, not so much, okay, I found this out, this is right, this is the right thing to do, so if you're doing it wrong, then you're a bad person. Like, no, like, I don't look at things that way, you know. And so I wanted to kind of clear that up. I'm not the vegan police, y'all. Like, I'm not. But if you ever had a ailment, because guess what? I've seen that industry, the pharmaceutical. I've seen that. I'm scared to use the term, but I've seen that industry take lives. And I know that what goes on behind the scenes with a lot of that stuff. So when a smoke hits the fan, I'd rather not have to look for a miraculous thing to happen, and versus the imprint was already given to me. This is the way I see it. That's love to me. Like my creator, whatever created me, the creator loved me enough to give me the instructions to not have to deal with that. And that to me is love. Some people may not see it that way. They may see it as, well, I don't get to feel that dopamine effect of the sugar that I'm addicted to. So if you tell me to come off that sugar, it's going to give me, I'm get hangry. And when I get hangry, I'm gonna talk to you kind of different because I'm mad. I don't like the fact that you taking this dopamine effect that I'm used to receiving, you taking that away from me. And so some people are responding to you in a way, not because they don't love you, but it's more so it's the chemical imbalance that's happening. And so I look at things that way too. Like, I didn't look at people thinking that I was just this, not for some people, that I was just this bad person or this judgmental person. Some people just, I understand the science of the body is real. It's a real thing. These people are creating these, the word pharmacy or pharmacy comes from the Greek word pharmakeia, which actually means sorcery, witchcraft, right? You can read this. This is not, you can read it yourself. So what that means is I'm adding things that are not of nature to maybe one or two things that are of nature, putting it together because I can't patent what God made. So I'm gonna make it myself. I'm gonna eat it, and then it's gonna alter the natural flow and affinity of my healing in my body. So tell me I don't got a headache no more, but that's really a lie. That's really a sorcery. It's telling my body I don't got a headache. So the actual natural systems that want my body to go heal the headache are thinking like, oh, I'm good. I don't got the headache. Right? And so you never get healed. You only keep paying to put a Band-Aid on something that eventually will you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so, and I don't want that's our conversation. I don't want to take it down that lane, but this is kind of where my passions kind of lie in certain areas. So when people see me talking a certain way or being passionate in a certain area, that's why. It's like I love my people. Like, I'm sorry, I love you. I love you is the reason why I speak on certain things. I want to get certain knowledge and information out there.
Yeah, I just want everybody that's listening. I want y'all to know, like, I'm gonna save this, right? But I need y'all. What he's saying is a fact. So I don't. If you're on here and you're like, oh, I don't know, it is a fact. You can look it up. I looked it up myself. As a matter of fact, like he said, we ain't gonna go down that road because there'd be some rooms when you get two companies together and they sit in there. They all turn one thing to pay for the next thing. This why you on medicine. This why you paying. Oh, we're gonna make this new burger. We're gonna get this medicine. We're gonna rotate it and make our money. These are facts, y'all. Now we ain't gonna get into that, but these are factual things. So I'm wrapping up, James. I gotta ask you, going through the parts where you felt like you were hurt and you transitioning out of the church, what are some things that you've been doing that you feel like has healed you from the hurt based on just that part where you're like, hey, I went had questions, that was alienating me, I was treating me different. What are some things you've done in that time to heal yourself for you to be where you are?
I can tell you what I'll give you a small example. Like, I just changed the trajectory of my thoughts and the way I process my thinking. So when I would learn about something, I would in turn look and see how that could benefit me and make me a better healed person. Right. So I'm gonna give you an example. Like, I remember when I first left Philly and moved to Georgia, and I learned about the idea of words, and they call words spelling words. Not gonna get into that, but what we say to people and to ourselves can place an effect on a person. This is why I could say something to a person without touching them and make them smile. They can hear my voice and my words that are coming from my mouth and make them cry. It can make them angry. Whatever choice words I use, it could alter the way that person feels at the time, right? In religion or out, just in general, you can just say something mean to a person, make them angry. So I learned the power of words. So what I did was, when I moved to Georgia, I never forget, I was driving one time and I was like, yo, I'm about to take out stress, the word stress, out of my vocabulary. I kid you not. From the day I've taken the word stress out of my vocabulary, and people might again, I don't waste my words. I don't do the lying thing. So you take it how you take it. Since the day I've stopped using the word stress, I can't remember the last time I've actually felt overwhelmed with stress or even really felt stressed.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you. It to the point that I forgot that I took it out of my vocabulary. And it wasn't until back then when I thought like, yo, man, like, and most people, especially like on like in the workplace or whatever, they be like, how are you able to handle so much stuff? It's like you do it like it's easy. And in my mind, I'm just naturally, this is the way I deal with stuff. But going back to me taking certain words and just using certain things and taking it out of now I'm not speaking stress over my life anymore. So now I'm able to actually handle and approach things. So I'm able to not be overwhelmed with anxiety as soon as I get a negative thought, right? not being able, being able now not to be to know not to be overtaken by a feeling of anger or frustration when I hear somebody say something about me negative, because now I know the power of words, and the power of what I may allow or may not allow to affect me. So that was one of my ways of healing, was really changing the way I think and changing the way I speak. Not just what I think, but also just as much in the same regard, changing the way I speak. And when I changed the way I speak, when I changed the way I was speaking, it made things so much different for me, Niche. I mean, it like, and I don't even think that I was really a negative person before. You know, I've always kind of been. Most people that know me know this is usually how this is me.
Right.
But just on the internal stuff that people don't know about, like that I'm feeling when nobody's around. Like it was more so me, sort of watching how I either speak words or how I receive words, and that really helped me to heal, and really learn that this journey is yours, and you know you're special. I never forget when my dad told me, "Son, your gift is in your voice." I never understood it back then. I thought it was only as an artist, and so now I was able to go, and I got my parents are a major part as well. Let me say that too, of my healing. I baptized my mother. No, I baptized my dad and my sister. You know, but my mother and my father, also on a different level spiritually, or different place or phase spiritually. And we're all kind of similar. So I never lost the support of my mother and father. So that was also a part of like, I never not had them, you know, to share my thoughts, or to, you know, and they've always looked at me as being a leader, looked at me as being powerful, looked at me as being you know, they supported any thought I've ever had. I've always had that support. And so that was another reason why I can say that I was able to heal outside of the confines of church, you know, so to speak, and part of my methods. But so to wrap that part up, just kind of the words that I would speak, would allow things to affect me that I would hear, and just the relationships that I've allowed around me as well. Because I don't really let negative people in my space. Like if you gossiping and all that, I don't really.
Right. You never. I don't think you ever really been though. You kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna head on out now.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's probably more people that have talked about me. I've not, you know, during my situation that, and I ain't talk negative about nobody, and I know some things about people, but that's never been me. You know, it's never been me. But I would say that's my answer. That'd be my answer to that.
So we have one more question. I have one more question. Somebody asked, Shamir, she asked, why do you think you had to learn the power of words outside of the Bible?
Why do I think that I had to learn the power of words
outside of the Bible?
That's a great question, right? But I'll say that I don't think that I had to learn the power of words outside the Bible. It's just that I learned the power of words outside the Bible.
Right.
Just as much as I learned the power of words when I was, you know, and inside and reading the Bible, and that's from that standpoint. But outside of it was a completely different, you know, I never did. I never thought like, oh, I have to learn something outside of the word. Like it was just natural for me. It wasn't like no part of my life at this point goes back to say, oh, look what I'm doing now. I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing this from the Bible. I'm doing this on my own. That's almost, I don't think that's ever really been my train of thought. Some people may think of it that way who may be in a certain, you know, where it's like, oh, well, I'm here. So I understand the concept from that perspective. But for me personally, like, I mean, it just, I don't even really think of it. I just do it.
It happens. Like, just come. I definitely understand that.
Yeah, I just do it. Like, I don't think that I have to learn. I just do it. I just, you know, we learn something new every day, and we learn something new about ourselves every day, and I just embrace it. You know, I embrace it, and that's really my train of thought there. But that's a good question, and I can understand why you asked that.
And the last question I got for you is, what advice would you give someone who has experienced what you've experienced as far as the church? Like, what advice would you give the person who says, "Oh, I still love God, I'm still in tune,
Yeah,
but I hate church. Like, I can't
yeah.
do it." What if someone came to you and was speaking to you? What advice would you give them, or what would you say to
Um, what advice was this? The same question you asked Des and
them? Mm-hmm.
um
I'm asking you because you've been someone who's in it. Like, you not only
yeah,
in it, you literally had a title. You literally was, and you was like. So I feel that's an appropriate question for you. Not that it's
yeah,
not appropriate
right.
for other
It
people.
is. No, for sure. No, I was trying to think of the what's the name's name, because I got stuck because you did the interview with Des.
And Charles and Susan. Charlie.
Susan. That's where I was stuck at, because that's my brain don't. I be compartmentalizing. So I was like, yeah, you mean the question you asked with Dad, and then I got stuck. But yeah, Susan. I mean, I would say my advice would be to us, and the question is to a person who feels like they're frustrated with church,
Like, they
right?
still love God, they still in tune, but they hate
They
church. Like,
still in tune with God, but they hate church, so they don't want to like go to the actual building
right.
in that regard.
Yep.
My suggestion is you have to follow you have to learn to to truly follow your. I truly believe that like when we have pure intentions.
Mhm.
I'm just a person that believes we'll be led the way that we need to be led when our intentions are pure, to even if it's to find out something or to gain an answer or direction in life. If something doesn't feel like home and like health to you, then I'm not one to suggest, well, go do that.
Mm.
Follow what feels healthy to you. And if you're in a space where what feels healthy is learning more so that you can understand more, then do that. Like, focus your time and focus your energy on learning what you need to learn to become a better person spiritually, to become a better person psychologically, in whatever area that you feel that your journey is for. There's some people, like you said, and yet the previous interview, who they don't go to church, but they still love God. They still read their Bible. They still, if that makes you feel healthy, then do that. Like, that's a part of your journey. That's a part of your, what makes you feel at peace.
Right.
That's why my acronym for Prayz is, peace really activates your Zen. You
Mm.
know, I'm big on what makes you feel at peace. And then from there, I think life will, when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm a firm believer in that. And so take out the time to really learn who you are, like learn what your needs are. Everyone's needs are different. Some people's needs are much different than another. Like, my needs clearly like were different, than some others.
Right.
And it's okay if your needs aren't what mine are. Maybe you have a different set of needs. You have to learn what those are and be intentional about following what makes you feel at peace. And I think whenever you do that, you'll fall in line and in tune with what is for you and for your journey, because there's no rewind button in life. I
Nope.
put that in that same rap you was talking about. Nigga said no rewind button on life in life. So ain't no regretting. My experiences helped make me. So I think life is really about moving moving with the flow of it, because you can't rewind it. Like, you can't go back and say, yo, man, let me do that over. You
Right.
can't. Like, you can't.
That's
You,
it.
you have to follow what makes you feel at peace. So I hope that's, something that could help someone. I don't know if it is, if it does or doesn't, but that's what I would say. Kind of follow your peace, follow what makes you feel that you can grow in that space and you can learn, and that doesn't mean that that's where you're going to end. That just
Right,
means that
right.
that's where you are. It's levels. It's another level that you're going to go to. I know that I'm gonna be a different person a year from now. I anticipate being an even better person a year from now.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. That's what I would put out there as advice.
This was such a good conversation.
I,
I really appreciate you coming on here and talking to me. I didn't think you was going to tell me no, but it was important for me to definitely speak to you because I can personally say that you are my brother. You've kept the same attitude, same respect. And when you decided to transition, I was on the other side watching how people was acting. I ain't like,
yeah,
hey, acting
yeah,
out there.
yeah,
I ain't going to let that slide. And you don't gotta say nothing about it, but I'm gonna say something about it. I see how a lot of y'all came up in his inbox and some things y'all was saying. A
yeah,
lot of stuff has been happening to a lot of people that we know who have been transitioning, who have been finding things, and I've been
yeah,
in the background watching how they've been treated. And this is why this entire thing has been leading me into doing this because I just personally feel like just because everyone's not seeing things the same way you've seen it doesn't necessarily mean that they're off track. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person.
right, right,
And if you have any questions, y'all could just simply ask. Don't assume. Don't come
right,
in people's inboxes saying crazy stuff. Because I'm a
right.
firm believer, like that. If that's the energy you give it, and somebody give it back. A lot of church people can't handle that energy. Like y'all gotta just be a little wise with how y'all navigating with people on this side. That's how I feel, me personally.
Yeah, I believe because you never know, man. Like I've had some I've had so many conversations. We ain't even touched the, we did not even an ounce of where we really could have went,
I know, I
but
know.
but that's life. That's the beauty of life. It's so much to it that I think we need to learn how to become more open minded and loving towards people and respectful of their journey because you just never know. I mean, you just never know. One thing, my former pastor, rest her soul, I'm gonna never forget when she told me. She said, "If you never know, if you never go, you'll never know." And when I left church, she was actually a huge. Me and her still would talk, you
Mm,
know, and even when people was going crazy on me, like me and her, we would just have conversations. She said, you're doing good. You're doing the right thing. You following your heart. People need to hear a lot of what you're saying. And that didn't take her away from her stance on, on God and how she
right,
lived.
right.
But she supported me. And that was probably in that aspect, she was one of one, when it came to
Mm,
that. And man, that I've always appreciated that about her. So, and that let me know as well that I'm gonna return that to individuals who are in their journey. And I know it's hard for some people because it's like, yo, you didn't did this for 10, 20. Was it fake? Was you faking it? Was you this and it? Was you that? I don't waste my words. I can't fake it. It's not even ain't in my makeup to fake things. So whatever I was ever passionate about at a point in my life, I truly was passionate about that
mm.
particular thing at a point in my life. And whatever I'm passionate about now, and I am. That doesn't take away. It doesn't mean that I was faking it. That just means that that was my part of my journey, and only very few people will understand that, and it's okay. It's okay. I still love you. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate what you're doing, Niche. Is so needed. I'm sure you're gonna have much more people come on your platform and just spread your mission even more. And I'm gonna be supporting and supportive of it. Tuning in. I think it's necessary. So many people are scared to, and we kept it, but so many people were scared. I think a lot of people were scared of you for you having this platform with me, maybe thinking that I was going to come off a certain way and try to steer people away. And, so that you probably was getting all kind of inboxes, be careful and this and that. But again, that just speaks to what the problem is. And so I really support who you are, what you're doing. I love you, man. This is so needed for the time we're in, for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's so encouraging. I love my people just like you. I'm like, yo, why y'all? I had to get myself together, grow up and mature a little bit. I'm like, why y'all doing this to my brother? Where's wrong? Like, I was really standing back there like, I'm about to go off of all y'all and still be a Christian and still curse y'all out and still be on the altar prayer and still get forgiven. Like, I was really expressed, like, why is y'all doing this to my people like that? But this is how God steered me, and I'm glad that He did, because all my people's like, I'm gonna jump on. You want to talk to me? And I just think this gives people a better understanding of where people are. Just show them the other side, rather, whether you're in here or you're not in here. There's still people out there still doing the right thing, regardless of how you feel. So I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in tonight. I'm gonna save this. I appreciate you, Prayz. I thank you so much. I love all you all. The last part is next Thursday. That is the last session that I have for February. I'll come back in April. April's gonna be hotter. It's gonna be more crazier. I got like a whole full list of people. So now I got June. Like, it's gonna be wild. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I hope everybody have a good night. Yeah, and I'll see y'all next week.
Peace out, y'all. Much love.
Thank y'all.